Okay. Okay, we're live. We're live. Let me see here. Or do I want it? Yeah, I think we'll do it like this. So, how are you? How was your day?
My day was good. My day was good. We just came back from shopping. My daughter, she's a little diva. So
That's good.
yeah, yeah. So we were just shopping, and I just put the baby to sleep.
Oh, he does not want to see. Oh, it's so crooked. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. Oh, let me see. It's not gonna stay that way. We'll just do it like that. I didn't want to stay sideways. Okay, so I'm gonna first tell anybody that is watching they could ask questions, and the comments will come up right here, and then I'll pin them, and then we could ask the questions. If anybody's live streaming via YouTube or Facebook, and we're grateful for anybody. First, I want to welcome you, our guest, Angela Teo, and my name is Rhiannon Montoya, aka Princess. No, um, and this is the Behind the Bars in the 505 podcast. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and how many years that you did and where you did them at.
So my name is Angela. Last name's Teo. I did from 2010 to 2014 in grants at CCA. It's no longer there now. The women have moved, but that's where I did my time.
Wow. Well, that was a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
It seems like almost like a decade ago, right?
yeah,
Well, that's so it's so great though, because you're doing so good and you're an inspiration to a lot of the women out there who might think that maybe they can't do it because sometimes people coming out of incarceration it becomes overwhelming and I know sometimes I seen girls because I did like 9 years. There were girls coming back. So when I got out, I was so scared. I was like, why did they just come back right away? Like, or you know what I mean? There would be a
yeah.
girl coming back after 3 days because it's hard to cope. So I feel like it's important for us, especially you, like you've been making it for a lot of years, and like Brad and Renee, Amal Renee, and Denise are important role models in our community.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So my next question is, what was your lifestyle like before that you picked up charges?
Oh gosh. Well, I was an addict. I started smoking crack at the age of 14. January now of 2024, I'll have 7 years clean. Um, yeah, I was a crackhead.
Wow. I'm all, wow, you were never, well, like, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
anybody can change and anybody can make a difference. And I feel like that's why it's so important to have this community and to be able for us to support each other.
Yes, and it was when I got out. Like when I got out, I didn't do good. Like I came back out in 2014 and started smoking crack again. My kids got taken from me in 2015. My boys. Uh, then I got pregnant with my daughter. And after I had her, like she wasn't involved with the system at all. Uh, then I got my boys back when my daughter was 4 months old. I got my boys back. Um, yeah, I have four older boys. They're 23, 22, 19, 16. My daughter now, she's 6, and I took in a baby 9 months ago. So I have a baby.
How
He'll be a
cute.
year old next month, and next month I've had him for 10 months, and I'm his legal guardian until he's 18.
That's great. That's amazing. I would like to talk to you more about that process. Well, because I feel like I could give a lot back, and there's a lot of babies or kids that need a home. You know what I mean? I just
Yes.
don't know the process, so I would like to talk to you more about that. Well, because this is a whole different another subject, and
Okay.
that's
I'll,
really
I'll, I'll
no.
give you my number after this. I'll send you my number through Messenger.
Awesome. That's great. Well, because I like, I would like to know the process. Is it really hard? Like, do you think that I would get approved, or do you know what I mean? Because sometimes, well, I know that my chargers are not, they're not like, you even, you know, when you rent at a facility, sometimes they won't rent to you if you have, I think it A1 felonies? I'm not
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
the term. But they won't rent to people, so I don't have those ones.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Actually,
I fall be under. No, I'm just kidding.
I got him. I went to the courts actually and just filed my own paperwork. But yeah, I'll
Oh
send you my
wow.
number so we can talk about it.
I'm all that's great. I'm all that's great. Well, maybe if you know like resources for me, because I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
because there's always people trying to like give away, like, you know what I mean, or
Mm-hmm.
abandon children, and I feel
Yes.
like if we can have a network of people, or even homes that are willing to foster them or take them, keep them for the 18 years and raise them, like, you know, I'm all in. No,
Yes.
that's great. See, God put us in a path for a reason. No,
Yes.
I'm all,
Yes. And
that's so
I
amazing.
he's a blessing. He's a blessing, you know. Like he's thriving and he's doing good every day and he's a blessing.
Oh, that's
Next
great. That's
next month on
amazing.
October 2nd, I'll start with the city, with the violence intervention program with Dawn and with Denise. Uh,
That's good.
yeah, I'll be working with them. Uh, I've already did all my paperwork, so I'm already on board. I just have to wait until October 2nd, and I'll start. Let me turn my light on in my house.
That's so great. Well, that's so great. Well, because I love to hear when people are thriving. You know what I mean? Like here,
Yes.
I feel like you're going next level now. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people out there making it, but that, like, we want to strive to be, have people like you out there succeeding, and that's very important. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. And it's just, you know, like it wasn't easy, you know, it wasn't easy, but since I became sober, January 7th of 2017, I haven't relapsed. Like people are like, how do you do it? And I just stay busy. I stay busy. And like when I go out, like I do a lot of outreach. I get donations. I do a lot of stuff off my social media, off of TikTok. Um, I get a lot of donations and clothes, hygiene, just different things. And I'll go back out. I go back out to the streets, you know, and like it just reminds me this is where I could be. This is where I could be again, you know? And it's so bad. It's just so bad out there. Like the people that I still know, like they're on fentanyl now, you know, and it's crazy.
Wendy Martin says hello. Hi, Wendy. How
Hi,
are
Wendy.
you? It's good to hear from you, Wendy. Yeah, you are literally an inspiration to us. Like, you're a boots on the ground organization. I would love if you ever have an organization or you need a volunteer, you let me know. I could be some hands for you, whatever you need. You know what I mean? Because that's, I feel like when we're in the community like we are, we have to support each other. So if you ever need anything, you let me know. Um,
Nice. I will let you know because right now, Einstein Bagels donated bagels. I have like 200 bagels right now in my freezer, and I want to make breakfast sandwiches. And I'll usually go to Sam's Club and get like orange juice and stuff, and I'll go out there and just, you know, just
hand
connect
them
with the
out.
people and talk, you know.
Oh yeah, that's good. They
Yeah,
will.
because
I'm down if you need help. And hey,
all right.
excellent cook. I'm an excellent cook. You could ask anybody I was
I
locked
seen
up
those
with. No, I'm
meatballs you
just kidding.
made. Those looked amazing.
They were good. Well, because I've never made meatballs in the fryer, but yeah, they were really good.
But what you could cook in the air fryer is amazing.
Oh, Wendy says she's down for the cause too. Well, that's good. Well, yeah, of course, Wendy. We'll get Wendy linked in also. Well, because I feel like this is how we support each other. You know what I mean? We show
Yes,
up
and
for each
it's
other.
always good, you know, to lift each other up and just be there for one another, you know.
Yes, and to
And
help the people in our community right now because they're suffering. It's really bad. It's really bad. I had a friend who came out here for a church outreach, and I just talked to her a little bit ago. She's trying to get one of our friends in rehab. and she was telling me it's bad over there, and I was like, oh, I know. Well, because
But
I live here. When we live here, we see the effects, the direct effects that happen from the fentanyl. We see kids
yes,
dying from the compressed pills that are fake fentanyl pills. Like, that's the kind of outreach that I want to do, and I want to help. So I'm, you know what I mean? Even if we would get together and go into the high schools to educate the kids about the compressed pills, the ones that are fake, so that they know. So we're teaching them and they know, so that when they're out there partying and somebody's trying to like literally roofie them and kill these kids, and they're thinking it's a Percocet, and they're dying because they're just wanting to be cool with their friends,
yep,
and they're getting killed. Like, that's crazy. Like, to me,
yeah,
I feel like it's so crazy. The fentanyl epidemic right now is we need to like take a stand. You know what I mean? Because
yes.
that's
It's horrific. It's horrific, and to go out there and see, like, I love to go out there. I love to go to the war zone. I love to go like down Central from Coors, like all the way down, and just pull over and talk to people and see how I could help, you know? But ultimately, at the end of the day, like, they have to be ready and they have to be done. And
yes,
if they're not done, then, like I tell them all the time, you could have 1,000 people standing behind you and supporting you. But ultimately, if you're not done, like, it's not going to work, you know? And I know for myself, I went to rehabs. I did it all, and I wasn't done. And
yeah,
I don't know, in 2017, my partner, she found me, and it was someone who's never experienced drugs, never experienced incarceration, none of that. And I was a mess. And I was a mess, and she wanted to go hang out, go to the clubs like we used to when we were young, you know. And I was a mess in addiction, and like, she pulled me out of it, and that was it. I was just done. I was just done. Like, that's all it took. She came and found me, and that was it. I was just done, over it. Yeah, I got my CPSW. I did my exposure hours with my twin, with Renee, at the violence intervention, and a year later, guess what? I'm gonna start working there.
that's good. That's really good. Like, I'm so proud of you guys in the organization. Um, we'll get a little bit more back to that. I got off track a little bit. Okay,
Okay.
so I have just a few more questions, and then we'll go more into that. And I wanted to talk about any organizations that you have, or, well, because I have a nonprofit too, that helps kids. I'm trying to help kids who are in trouble get, like, instead of getting going have to pull weeds and stuff like that for probation hours, we would teach skills like to paint a house or to buff a floor. I learned how to buff when I was locked up,
Yes.
seal the floors. That's an amazing job. We could teach an 8-week course on that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And kids could walk away with a certificate and say, hey, look what we did to our parole officer. We got in trouble and look what we did. And they could possibly get a job. Because
Yes.
I think that our intervention also, a lot of where our intervention needs to lie is with the juveniles, because when the juveniles are already in trouble, when they're getting in trouble with JPOs and all that stuff, they need to like, we need to tell them, hey, like, you need a change. It's going to be different, because if they're getting in trouble already, where are they going? They're going to prison. You know what I mean? And the cost, I don't like to talk about incarceration fees, but if we could touch only 3 kids' lives, because I think about them as lives, you know what I mean? When I hear about people talk about statistics, they want to talk about, oh, well, we're saving this many dollars because we're touching whatever. Well, you know what I mean? I don't like to talk like that. I feel like I would like to touch as many lives as God puts in my path. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to impact people. And I think that would be good. If you have any organizations that you want to talk about in a little bit, I would give you the space to do that. Well, because I want to promote you and anything that you're working on. Okay, so one of my next questions is, when you were in trouble and you got sentenced by the judge, how did you first feel? Like, how did that make you feel?
Well, actually, 17, I was the first female juvenile in the state of New Mexico to get tried as an adult. My mom hired a private attorney and I got off 5 years women's corrections probation. So when I went to prison, I was just like, wow, like I didn't hit prison until my 30s. So like it was just my time. It was just my time, you know, like I've been a mess for so long, 17 and all the way till 30 when I finally went to Grants.
Wow.
I was kind of blown. I was kind of blown away when they're like, you're going to Grants. I was like, okay. You know?
Well, because like you're doing out there living the life, doing the dirt, and sometimes we do things. You were probably like, wow, I could have gotten a lot more time. Or you know what I mean, right? Like 'cause I
Yeah.
know that I've done things like big drug deals, like massive amount selling, you know what I mean? And I could have been in prison for years, lots of years, but I'm not, because sometimes God puts away the people that he needs so that he could mold them and reshape them into the people that we need to become. And well, I firmly believe that, because if not, I would be dead. You know what I mean? I don't know. Probably yourself as well. You know, if you were going hard, you were probably going to continue going hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it was when they sentenced me, I was just like I was blown away, you know, like I was just kind of shocked because I was actually going, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was kind of a shocker.
Okay, so when you got to RDC, how was your like intake process with Yazi? We'll talk a little bit about that, because I believe that that's always interesting. And then when you got into RDC, because it's so different from county, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's way different. It's way different.
Yes.
When I got there, I was like I was it wasn't what I expected, you know? And when I got there, like they were taking me to mental health and stuff a lot, and like I didn't even hit population for like 9 months because they had me housed in C unit. They had me
You were
housed in,
so young, right?
no, they had me housed in the mental health unit and
Oh.
yeah, in C unit.
Oh, the pink ones.
Yeah, they had me like with Teresa Kincaid, like where you're locked down by yourself and there's only like 8 cells in there.
Yeah, there's
Like
only
right by
8 cells.
master control. That's where I was for the first 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, why am I going here? But I guess from talking to the mental health, like they thought I was a loop-de-loose and they sent me to C unit.
Hey, it was probably more comfortable in there though. You
It
know,
was
like more.
it was there was only 8 of us in there, you know, so it wasn't so bad.
I've
And
never
then
talked to anybody that's been in C unit. That's I'm all well, because I used to go in there for education. We used to go in there to go and like take to facilitate for, because I was like a teacher. I used to make packets for level 4 and all that stuff. But yeah, we used to go in there, the pinks.
yeah. Yeah, and then they had me from there. They took me to I was in A unit. I was in A unit, and then from A unit they took me to G unit. But yeah, I went from C unit to A unit. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, you landed up in G Unit in the jungle. How did you think that was because the transition, how did you prepare after RDC? Well, because then you were in C Unit, and then like that's a dramatic change to
Yeah.
live all
See,
by yourself, and then to live, well, you're by yourself, and then to go A Unit, you're all by yourself, you have your rooms all by yourself, and then to go all to, that's wild.
yeah, June, it was just off the chain. It was off the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many people. There's like, oh my gosh. I
Then
remember
all
I
the
was
open bunks, and
yeah.
it was so funny because I was in G6. I was in G6, and then I went to G1. But when I was in G6, it was so funny because the girls just tell me, Angela, what is wrong with you? Because they had me on meds. They had me so sedated on meds, right? And it was a mess. I was like a damn guinea pig. I was a guinea pig for grants, like with the medication. Uh, it was horrific. And so I would get up all night eating, right? And I'd hit the vending machine. You know, we're not supposed to be in vending machine after lockdown. But I'd go to the vending machine. I'd be so heavy sedated on my damn meds. I'd go to the vending machine and I'd buy chocolates and stuff. And every morning, I kid you not, I'd have to be up in the back washing my sheets because I'd wake up
You
with
fall
chocolate
asleep with chocolate.
everywhere.
Oh,
I'd wake up with chocolate everywhere, melted all over me. And the girls would be like, Angela, why are you always back here washing your sheets? Right. And I was like, because I get up eating the whole night. And I'd have chocolate all over everywhere. And one time, I don't remember which one of the girls who was. They're like, oh hell no, Angela. I had chocolate melted all over my face. It was all over my sheets, my pillowcase. Yeah, it was a mess. I was a mess.
oh my goodness. So did you stay on the meds the whole time?
Yeah, they had me on lithium. They had me like on, gosh, they had me on 900 milligrams of lithium in the morning. They had me on 900 milligrams at night. And then they had me, for my anxiety, they had me on 1800 milligrams of gabapentin in the morning and 1800 milligrams of gabapentin at night.
Hey man, I heard it. I was on gabapentin too. That's a high milligram dose that they had you on. I only got, I think, 1800 for the whole day. Well, because and then they started when we started to turn state. They started to take it away from us, and I thought I was gonna die. No, just kidding.
Yeah, like it was bad. And then like I have hardware in my back, and actually I probably could have had a lawsuit against grants when I got out. I had hardware in my back, and for some reason, like I kept telling them in medical that it was my hardware, and they kept sending me to medical for wound care. And I kept telling them like, it's not what you guys think on my back, because they just kept saying it was like, I think they were trying to say it was like MRSA, right? But I kept telling them it's my hardware, like my hardware has shifted, and I felt it, and they didn't do nothing. They would just take me, they'd clean it, bandage you back up, and send me back to the pod. So when I got out in 2014, I went right away to UNM Hospital, and they had to admit me. They put me on antibiotics, and they had to open me up and remove my hardware. The screws in my back literally were infected all the way
Oh
to the bone. Yeah, so I had to get surgery when I got out.
man, I just got the chills because I know how hard that is when you're in pain, like when you're hurt.
Yeah.
I had I before I got incarcerated, I had a lump removed from my breast. Well, because I was going to trial for like 2 years, they don't give you your medication. At first, when I was trying to fight for medication, they said I was an IV user, and I was like, "What?" They said that I was putting a needle in my boob, and I was like, "Dude, they were checking me for cancer, and you guys are trying to." I got cellulitis because of the tools, and then I had to deal with it after. And you guys aren't giving my antibiotics. All I need is antibiotics. Like, give me what I need. They didn't take me to medical, and the wound, because it was still a little bit open, like the incision from being like infected, right? You get infected if you don't have the proper antibiotics. And right after I got out of the hospital from the surgery, I spiked a really high fever, and I had to be in there for a whole week on antibiotics.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be on them for a certain amount of time whenever you have like something like that until it's cleared up, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So imagine all the pain you were in that whole time. You could have sued them, mama.
Yeah,
But
it was bad. Like my back, my left side, and it's because it was from a suicide attempt in 2009. I lost my daughter in 2008, and I tried taking my life in 2009. So I broke my pelvis. I had an external asphyxiator. You know, I wore a colostomy bag for 9 months, and I had hardware in my back. And yeah, the hardware got it. Like, I don't know what happened, but the hardware was infected. And I would always tell them like, it's not, this isn't staph, this isn't MRSA, it's something to do with my hardware. and they wouldn't listen to me. You know, they wouldn't listen to me.
Dang.
Yeah, they thought that I was just tripping, like
No,
that I
that's
was trying to
the
trying to
things
get something.
they fail us. They fail
Yeah,
us in there. They don't. We're just like a number, literally. They just check it off, and yeah, okay, it's another medical request. It's a whatever. You know what I mean? What type of programming did you do when you were incarcerated? Because CCA had really decent programming. Well, I think they did. When we went to Springer, the programming it's getting better now, but it's CCA programming was probably the best that we ever had.
I think I was did art. It was an RDAP. Was it RDAP?
The turquoise,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was there, and then I just went to school. I worked. That's it. I worked in the yard for a while. Ronnie, I'm on a podcast. You can't be talking, Ronnie.
Okay.
I went to school. I mean, I didn't go. I went to school. I did go to school. I went to school for just a minute. I worked in the cafeteria. I worked for commissary.
Oh wow, you had a whole array of jobs.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I did.
because that's those are good, all good jobs. The kitchen is the only one that I'm out of fuck with the kitchen. It's so hard. It's hard ass work for like cheap 30 cents. No.
Yes, but the kitchen was cool because the stuff you could bring back from the kitchen to the pod.
I know, right? Hey, and then you get to meet people. That's how you make. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's how you make moves in there. If I would have known, I would have probably stayed in the kitchen. No, just kidding. Because at CCA, that's how, you know what I mean? I remember people, they'd be getting caught with big old clavos of like cheese, and it's always cheese and jalapenos and tortillas.
Sorry about that.
You're fine. It's all,
Yeah,
yeah.
the what's it called too? The like just the different stuff, you know, until they started like getting us and searching us from the cafeteria out, you know. But yeah, when they wouldn't search us, I used to take back all kind of stuff from the chicken to go back to the pod and make food, and you know.
Wings of Hope says, "Hey Angela, hello."
Who is that? Is that Anne?
Yeah, they're saying hello to you.
Hi.
Is that Miss Anne?
I think so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went to her stuff a few times. Like she's amazing. She's amazing. And when I was in grants too, she brought my boys, like when they had the get-togethers and stuff. It's amazing what they do.
Tara too. I'm all Tara too. That says.
Oh, that's Tara.
Yeah.
That's Tara. Hi, Tara. That's so she's one of my followers actually she's from North Carolina. And
Oh, that's great.
and it's so funny because when I have like sometimes I'm trying to like find different stuff for people here, and for some reason like she could call, and I don't know when she calls because her number is an out of state number. She gets through so fast. So when like the other day, for example, I needed resources from one in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I reached out to Tara and I was like, Tara, I need your help. And she's like, what do you need, Angie? And I was like, I need some information. And like within 15 minutes, she sent me a listing of information.
That's amazing. Well, see, that's the power of networking and knowing people and just being able to be like, hey, this is this, or do you know what I mean? This is what I love that. That's amazing.
Actually, she was starting she wanted to do NA and AA, but she wanted to do it on Zoom because like she's from a rural community and there's nowhere for them to go, and there's a lot of addiction that's happening, like a lot of addicts in her little community, you know.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, she had a Zoom thing going, and people were coming in, and yeah, it's so crazy, Princess, because I talked to people from like she's from North Carolina. I talk to people from probably at least 3 times a week from the United Kingdom. Yeah, I have a connection of people from all over the world.
That's good. That's so amazing because you're helping impact our community with your little network of people. So that's very inspiring, you know. That's so cool.
And
Uh,
and me and Tara, we met off of TikTok, and we've been knowing each other for probably about since her grandbaby. I think her grandbaby just turned 2. So since her granddaughter was like 4 months old, so for about a year and 8 months,
oh,
and
that's so cool.
yeah, we just stay connected and like whatever we need. Like we brought someone from Maryland. Someone was struggling in Maryland. We brought him here to New Mexico. We raised bus fare for him. Oh yeah,
Wow, that's cool.
yeah.
That's very, you know, that's very inspiring to all the people who are, well, because I feel like we get such a bad rap. The people who come out of being incarcerated, right? Like you and I, we're the people that represent the 10% of the New Mexico recidivism rate. That is us. That is who we are. And I think it's important for people to see the work that you're doing, especially because in a different, like that that's such, it's powerful what you're doing, you know what I mean? Like about 3 years, she says. About 3 years. I
Oh,
met you before she
that's
was born.
been a long
Oh,
time. No, it's been that long.
that's cute. That's neat. That's really neat. Very nice to meet you, Tara. No.
Yeah,
That's so
she's
cool.
amazing. Like it's just amazing the people from my social media, like Tara, there's Chrissy. They really just inspired me to just go back out, and because I stayed away. Like once I got sober, I didn't go back to the war zone. I didn't go back. That's my stomping grounds, you
Well,
know?
yeah, I'm all
And then one day I was just like, oh no, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go out. And I took Chrissy with me, the lady from the United Kingdom. And I went out with the food. I don't remember what I went out with. I think I bought pizzas or something, or I made burritos. And I went out there and I just fed and just connected with people. And yeah, it's just been amazing because like Tara, how long do you have? How many years do you have clean?
She says, yes, it's been an amazing journey. Tara, how long have you been clean?
15 years, I think.
Geez, that's a long time.
Yeah, so the people I talk to have their stories too, you know. Um
Yeah.
they're on the path of, yeah, see, 15, oh,
Yep,
she
she
made it,
says yes,
15
15
years,
years.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. That's so cool to be able to be connected with somebody like so far away, but you guys are connected through your addiction and through your community, through the power of being sober. She says June 14th, 2008. That's amazing. We're so proud of you, and we're grateful for you to come on our podcast and share your sobriety with us. Well, because I feel like that's something so, it's important, you know what I mean? We need to support each other. It doesn't matter if it's even in just a like, a share, whatever it is, you know what I mean? You guys have made a great connection. All that's really inspiring.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to North Carolina and finally like meet her in person. Like we talk through Messenger, we talk through Instagram. Yeah, there's a few of us from TikTok that we just keep in contact with each other, like on a constant basis, you know?
Thank you so much, Amal. Thank you so much. So I just have a few more questions. How did your incarceration affect your family?
Oh boy. Well, um it affected them. It affected them. It affected my boys really bad. May my mom rest in peace, but she was to one of my boys, she sent away to my brother, and I didn't even know. I got a paper when I was in prison saying that my brother had kinship guardianship of my son. My mom sent one away because my oldest two, they kept fighting, so she sent the oldest away. Then she kept the other three, but my the middle one, that was her favorite. And my younger two, she was just so mean to. But my son now, he's 19. He's the one that suffered the most. She would hit him verbally, physically. She would just abuse him. And yeah, they suffered. They suffered. My boys suffered. And then when I got out, like I didn't even have it together. Like my mom told me I wasn't coming to her house when I got out, that I needed to get to come and get the kids and figure it out. And so when I got out of prison, nowhere to go, I went and hit a lick and got a motel room and got my kids and went downhill from there. And then CYFD stepped in 2015 and took my boys. Yeah, they took my now 19-year-old and my 16-year-old, because my 22-year-old, they separated him from the other two brothers. They took him to Santa Fe to a group home, and they took my two other boys. They stayed together, and actually their foster dad, we're so close. Like we're so close. My 16-year-old son actually went back to stay with him in May, and not because of like me on drugs or anything, but like he's bonded, like he calls him dad, you know? So, and like I still support him. I still see him. They were just over here 2 days ago. But yeah, my boys have a lot of trauma from my choices and my addiction, my incarceration.
Right?
Yeah.
All that happens with the choices that we make sometimes. Like I think I beat myself up a lot too for the abuse that my kids will, because I know the way what you're talking about. My mom has my kids right now. She's fighting me right now for child support, but yet she don't allow the kids to see me because I'm the same person I was, and the judge just believes her. I'm like, that's hearsay. Like, how does that even work? But we don't have a leg to stand on. All we have is a record. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's the hard part. So I know you know what that's like.
Yes,
Um,
it's rough, it's rough. And like even my mom didn't get to see me clean and doing what I'm doing now, but she sees me from up there, but she didn't get to never see me. Like she died 3 weeks before my daughter was born. And
oh, wow.
yeah, like so I was a mess. Like I was a mess. And my poor mom too, what I put her through, because I was gosh, I was a crackhead since I was 14 years old. I just turned 46 on September 9th. And January, like I said, I have 7 years clean. So I got clean at 39, from 14 all the way to 39 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, people are like, how do you look like the way you do? And I was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, that's one thing I don't understand about addiction is, like, I had my one drug and that was it. Like that was all I did. I don't That's one thing I just don't understand. And I've tried heroin. I tried heroin in uh 1995 when I hit county jail, and I tried heroin again in 2010 in prison, snorting it. And I just didn't like the feeling of the itching and nodding. So it wasn't for me. Like that was it. But I was the type of person that wanted to know what other people are going through with their addiction. So I tried it, like meth. I tried meth, and I could tell you the years I tried meth too, because I know the years I tried it. And that wasn't my thing neither. It was just the crack. So that's one thing I don't understand about people with addiction, like how they do all the drugs.
Right? I'm all, yeah, I know. It doesn't, I'm all, I
And
get you.
fentanyl, I've never tried, and I don't want to try it. Like I like I'm past trying to feel what people are feeling. Like I'm not trying.
Right? Right? That's so amazing. You've come so far. Tara says, Angela's helped me to realize I can't carry my son's addiction because I blame myself. that's probably really hard. Oh my goodness, that's probably really hard. I think that anytime that something happens to any of our children, we all blame ourselves, right? And
But
to be
ultimately,
able to,
the day, like, you know, like with my kids, like I tell them, you know what I mean? Don't follow my footsteps. Don't follow what you've seen me and your dad doing. Do better, be better, you know? Like like they're of age. Like my 23-year-old son, like he recently moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, because he was getting really involved, like with doing cocaine and ketamine. And I'm like, son, like you are gonna ruin your life. You have a whole life ahead of you. You know, you're gonna get locked up. Like you need to think about what you're doing, you know? And I always try to tell people, like, that's who you were, but that's not who you are today. So they can't, you can apologize and be remorseful for what you did, but at the end of the day, like I tell my boys, I've been present for you guys for the last 7 years. That doesn't make up for all the time that I wasn't here, but they can't, because that when I was getting sober, they would always throw it in my face and throw it in my face, and like I was like, God, Lee, it was hard. And finally one day I was like, oh no, they're just not going to use that against me no more. Like they're just not going to beat me up with my past, you know?
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I think that like I said, I always when I do these podcasts, I take a little something that I didn't even know I needed from the other person, and I like that's something that I'm gonna take because I blame myself a lot because my kids are still with my mom right now, and I know that my sister was taken away and she was in 27 different foster homes. I left home when I was 15. You can't tell me that she's changed in any of the years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, there's no way I have a leg to stand on. And it's just really hard to be able to make anyone understand what you're going through because, like, they don't listen. No one listens. Even my kids, and I don't blame them. I totally don't blame them because they're brainwashed. She has brainwashed them, condition them to think that she's the only safe ground, she's the only whatever. And I I'm not gonna stop living because you're intimidated of who I am. Do you know what I mean? And
Yep.
I've had to take that power back slowly. Like I'm almost gonna start, but like that's what I'm taking from this podcast because from each guest, it's something that I don't even know. Like I didn't even really think that I needed to hear that, but I do because every day I beat myself up about that because I don't have a
Yeah.
connection with
Yeah.
my girl.
No,
She's depriving me of that every day,
yep.
and it's not my fault. And I got to give myself a little bit of forgiveness too. So I'm very grateful to you because that's what I'm taking away from this.
Yeah, you have to just keep your head up, you know what I mean? And one day when they get older, like now my 19-year-old son, he realizes, like now he sees, and like it's just so different our relationship. Even my 22-year-old son, like it's just so different. And now they see, like I'm not going nowhere. Like I'm not the same person that I was, you know? And I know they got a lot of resentment because they didn't have me like the way my daughter has me, you know? Like my baby has me, like she's never experienced her mother in addiction or none of that. And she'll never see that. She'll never see that. Like people tell me, and always tell people, there's just no time for backwards. There's no time for backwards for me. Like every day it's to move forward, you know? Like I had someone ask me today, and it's so crazy because she was the CO in the D home. She's like, Angela, like, how do you have a car and how do you have a house? Like, how do you have all this? You know? She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, grinding every day. Like I have these apps on my phone that I pick up shifts when I'm not caregiving with my normal person. Um, that I go to this. I'm a Papa Pal, right? And like I'm a companionship for an elderly person, or I'll do a shift smart shift where I go into the Circle K's and stock and clean. Like I'm just steady going. Like there's just no down.
Oh wow, Amal, those are interesting. Amal,
Yeah.
that is so interesting. Well,
And
because I didn't even know about those. Like I don't even know what those are. That's cool. Like
off my phone, like I could look on my phone right now and see if there's any shifts available. And sometimes like the shifts are, a lot of times the shifts will have like a $50 and $80 bonus on them, plus your hourly pay. So
Wow.
sometimes in 2 hours, like the other day, I worked 2 hours and made $90.
Wow.
I was just like, well, that's good, you know?
Yeah.
Like I just steady go, steady go. Like I keep myself busy.
Yep. It can be very overwhelming, Tara. She says it can get overwhelming, and it keep moving forward. You have to keep moving forward, and sometimes when there's not a way, you have to make that way. Like there's one thing that I learned. Prison taught me something, because a lot of they tell us no. They're always like no, 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 and I'm like, dude, if you are not gonna tell me yes, I'm gonna make a yes. I'll find a way to make a yes. If prison taught me anything, it was to grind and to be able to, like, you have to make it happen. If it's not happening, make it happen. And
Yes.
that's the exact mentality that has kept me sober, has kept me, you know what I mean, to be able to, I'm almost 17 credits from my bachelor's, but I don't have no way to pay for it. I'm trying to apply for that opportunity scholarship, but it's like, if you don't know people I feel like really overwhelmed when you go to the college. Like if you don't know people, they don't care. They just like, who are you? You know what I mean? And I get very offended by that. No, well, because I feel like
Tara,
everybody's education is important. You know what I mean?
Tara, when you get a chance, if you look too to see if what other grants is available here, and if you would send them to me, please.
Okay.
I'm telling Tara, like she'll send me all the different stuff. Like she sent them to me before.
Hey, I have a lady that has a list of grants too, because I know a lady that writes grants. I used to be I was the president of the Belen Art League for some time, and I know a lady that was writing. She was gonna write grants for us, and she's my really good friend. So I can ask her if she has any.
No, I'm talking about for you for school to pay for your.
Oh, that's good. Well, because I only know about the opportunity, and I really don't even know if you have to apply at the college or you got to apply independently. I got to find out about it.
I was part of I was the executive director of Street Safe, New Mexico, and I had to step down from that because things were happening that I didn't see were right. They were housing, so Street Safe is supposed to be for women who have children, because it's not just women. And that's one thing I didn't see. They just wanted to help women of sex trafficking, but it's not just women who are being sex trafficked. You know, it's young adults, it's kids, it's boys, it's a wide spectrum of different people, you know. But not only that, there was a situation where they were housing somebody at the salon that's closed right now because it's under renovation. But back in 2022, he had serious charges of being a predator, and I got wind of it, and the founder of it was like, "Well, he didn't get charged." I'm like, "I don't care if he didn't get charged. He didn't get charged because the witnesses didn't come to testify against him." So yeah,
Oh my God.
I had to step down. I had to step down, just because, like, if you're trying to say you're helping them people, but then you're housing someone that's harmed people, it just didn't sit well with me. So I had to step down.
That shows your integrity. That shows the kind of person that you are, and that, you know, that you're in alignment with what you're saying. Sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm, you know, we're in alignment with everything that we're doing," but they'll walk one way but talk another way. You know what I mean? And that's when sometimes God tells us, or whoever tells us, we got to put up or shut up, because if something is not right, you know, yeah, just very recently, I was trying to ask for my right pay, and they were not wanting to pay me. And I'm like, I kept sending emails and stuff, and he's like, "I'm just going to cut your program." And I'm like, isn't that illegal? No, just kidding.
Well, yeah,
Well, because our funding is from the legislature. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you can't just literally cut my program that is actively running, and I'm having like 7 to 15 people every week, and you're choosing to not cut a program that is not running, that's not even, doesn't have one client they've yet to start. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. In my program, I had one of the most email list names. Like, when you get an event, you add
yeah,
everybody to your email list. Mine had the most names. The program should have been cut based on the activity, correct?
yes.
Well, because I was demanding the correct pay, what happened? You know what I mean? But that's what happens. But like, there's going to be other repercussions. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
We'll stay tuned
not,
on that. No.
sometimes it's not what you know, sometimes it's who you know, you know?
I know that's right. And
Yeah.
my reach is my reach is really long. I worked at the I this last I worked the session last year, and I plan to work the session that's coming and the special session that I already know about, because one of my good friends, Nancy, she works legislative council services. I'm all dropping her name on the podcast. No, just kidding. Well, because she's my friend, and it feels good to be able to be. I text her, and I'm like, "Hey, girl, what's going on?" And she was like, "I'm so sad because I'm not going to be able to sit by you this year." And I was all, "Why?" And she's all, "I got a promotion." And I told her, "I'm so proud of you." I told her, "Well, because I was the web camera operator for the session last year.
Yeah.
For the New Mexico Senate. Like, that's so big, I was rubbing elbows with the senator, dude. Like, Senator Diamond, she's so cute. She's so, I don't talk about a lot of this stuff, but she's so cute, because you meet them on a personal level. You know what I mean?
And it's different.
I would tell her, "Can I take a picture of you?" And she's all, "No, come take a picture with me." And one day she all just dropped her Louis on the floor. I was all, oh, I was, I was so offended. Well, because I love purses, you know what I mean? I was all, "I would have held your purse for you." I would have been on the picture, and I would have been all holding her purse like this. But I know Senator Hemphill. I know Senator Jaramillo, Leo Jaramillo. He's down there from northern, I believe he is Los Alamos' senator. And I know a lot of them. So it feels good to be connected and tied in. Next year, I'll have even more connections. You know what I mean? And I like to be able to advocate for my people. You know what I mean? And I love everything that you're doing. Do you want to talk anything about your organization?
Actually, I don't have, I don't have organization. I just do my own thing.
Just your work?
Oh, well, I was working as a peer support worker with a
Did you
property
get that with Oprah, or what is that? Is
with
that?
Oprah. I got it
Oh,
with
yes.
Oprah, my peer support.
I'm trying. I'm on the list. I'm supposed to be getting. They just turned in my stuff, but I don't really know how it goes. You know what I mean? I'm not too sure.
It's
Does it take a
it's
long
through,
time?
it's online. It's all through Zoom, and it's for 5 days, Monday through Friday. It it's from like 8 to 4. Uh, and then they send you to TVI, and you take a test. And as long as you study and go over your material, you'll be good. You'll be good. And then you go and you have to go volunteer somewhere for 40 hours, you know? And like I did mine with, like I said, with my twin with the city at the violence intervention program.
Mm-hmm.
But like you could do yours even with her. At her, she has 4 houses,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like working with the girls in the houses. And
I might do that and I could go facilitate workouts for them. Well, because
yeah,
that's what I do. You know what I mean? And that
yeah,
would be it would be good. It would be good to be able to. I feel like I like to give back too, because the women need to see that we're out there making it, because they're struggling too. You know what I mean? And we're role models to them, and it's important for us to give back.
yeah. I like to go to like the not this week, but last week and the week before. I was at the houses in her South Valley houses pretty much like almost every day. I was going to pick up the girls. One of them I was always taking to go run errands, and then twins' husband would call the girl and be like, can you pick up this person or that person? We'd go pick them up, you know? It's kind of cool because they're like, they trip out. They trip out to see like where you're at. And I'm like, you could be here too. Like you could be here too. It's possible. You know what I mean? As long as you stay sober and just keep doing what you do and stay connected to positive people, you know, and until you feel you're ready to like be able to go out there and face what you see out there. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Sometimes you have to just stay away and stay sheltered until you feel you're strong enough to go back to where you came from.
Oh my gosh, it's so powerful. I'm all everything that you're saying is like really touching me in my heart. I really, really want to network with you, and I want to. Whenever you're ready to do your sandwiches, like I'll volunteer to help come cook with you or cook for you, whatever you need. If you have a facility or whatever, like I'm willing. Just let me know, and I'll be there to help you. And I'll go help you hand out the sandwiches and everything. It'll be like we'll do it all, like the whole day process or whatever.
Okay. And whatever.
It'll be neat to be able, you know what I mean, boots on the ground and see that like stuff like that, you know, like we do a lot of activity work in the church, but we're not out there literally on the streets with the people, you know what I mean? I was gonna tell you when you said those are my stomping grounds. I said, well, I know you probably knew my cousin Flaca. Did you know my cousin Flaca?
Alicia Dominguez?
Yeah.
Oh, me no Alicia. Woo, that was my baby. I love Alicia.
Yeah, that's my cousin. It's so I received some like really disturbing news. It like very recently, Lamb, the one that he has the daughter with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told my cousin Weta that they possibly might have like hit her with a hot shot or something, and I was like, what? Like I was really upset about it. But I don't know the streets. My cousin Brandon was like, you need to find out. Hey, the old gangster comes out in her all crazy. She's like, oh, you better find out now. I was like, oh my gosh. But that's something like, well, I was locked up when that happened.
Oh, I'm gonna have to call you. I'm gonna have to give you my number. We're gonna have to find her. I love Flaca to death.
Yeah.
We go way back with the Cubans.
Wow. Oh, well, that's crazy. Well, because I know, you know, when you run deep, and when you said that, I was all, I know she knows my cousin, and I was gonna ask you, and then I forgot, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna forget to ask her because I always forget to tell. Like that's my cousin. Like we grew up like sisters. You know what I mean? But she went a different route because she had to. Like they grew up a really hard life. My other cousin just got out of federal prison. She did 7 years for the RICO Act. She got picked up and all that stuff with the RICO Act, and she just got out and she's doing really good. And yeah, give me a call. Like I said, we could go to lunch and get together and do something. This podcast was amazing. Like I said, sometimes every time that we have these, I did it because as a sense of community for myself, but I see that there's a demand for it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that are out there right now, and they're like, this lady was all, I joined this community because I'm raising my son's kids and he's locked up. You know, like I'm more than willing to help anybody like that. I've gone to have lunch with people who have been in severe depression, and like this lady came out of depression because I went to have lunch with her. I'm like, I don't even know how to have an impact on people like this, but you know, if I can do that, I'm gonna do it, you know, because I feel like there's a need, you know, and not anything that you need. I'm excited to get to know you because to hear the things that you and Alicia, you know what I mean? Because it's able to connect with Alicia through you, you know what I mean? And that's something that's very important to me because when I grew up, her and her sisters, they were my role models. I didn't have older sisters, but like they taught me how to do my hair.
You know, when I met Alicia when she was in that shelter when she was pregnant with her son.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember her son's name.
Like 20, he's probably like, gosh, God, he has to be in his probably like 26, 27.
I had heard too that one of her daughters passed away, but I'm not positive. Oh, I think she did, friend. I think that she was getting out of the car and the boyfriend, they were having like a domestic or something, and the little girl got out and went like I guess running on the freeway, and a car hit her.
Oh, I heard about that. Yep. I heard about
Right? It was it Angel or Ricardo? It's because I don't remember. I just know their names. I don't remember.
it. I am almost positive it was Ricardo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm trying to find them too, just because I don't really know too much or where to find. You know what I mean? Maybe you can help me locate or put me in
Yeah.
the right direction. But yes, definitely, let's stay in contact. I'm definitely excited to get together with you with your little network, Tara. I'm gonna be following you and trying to get on the train to go to wherever you're from.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I went
I'm gonna be on. Let's rent a car.
I was like, Princess,
Drive over there.
oh.
It'd be so cool to go on a little road trip. Oh,
Yes.
well,
I'll
you
be
know
like,
what I
let's
mean? Like to
go.
see all the sights and to see all the stuff. It'd be, I'd be down. No, just kidding. Yes. So, this podcast was great. Like I said, I take some things sometimes from different people that I don't even think that I know. And tonight, like I said, I took a lot of healing from you, like not holding myself accountable for things that I've done in my past. And I think that that's important for people who are formerly incarcerated. Like our language is also very important, how we talk to people, how we represent ourselves. Oh, like I'm a felon. No, we don't say that. I'm a formerly incarcerated individual who's made a mistake. You know, like we have to represent ourselves, and it's all about how we present ourselves in the language. I'm so grateful to you for coming on. Everything.
Thank you for having me.
About. Yes.
I'll send you my number now, and if you ever need anything or whatever, but I'm going to reach out to some people now too that I know that are still actively on the streets, that I have their numbers, to see if they heard anything about Flocka.
Thank you. Well, because we
now
just
that's
want
just
to
gonna.
know.
I was just talking about her 2 days ago.
I think that like that's awful for even for her husband, but I know that he doesn't make moves like that. Do you know what I mean? Like us coming from Alicia, they were from the east side, like they were gang members. Like, you know what I mean? They represented a whole, like if their homies even knew something like that, like that person would not be walking. Like she was a very valued human being, and for someone to try to do, she was beautiful, you know, beautiful to this world, and us finding that out was very hard. So I'm very grateful. Anything that you can, I feel like I touched on a lot of points with you, so I'm very excited to help you make breakfast sandwiches for the people too.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your night. I'm going to give you my number now.
Thank you. We're going to be signing off. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tara, everybody that's watching. We're signing off from 505, Behind Bars in the 505. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.